Hello. 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 कौन फिर चल गया नहीं तो निर्दीप बोलता
A very good morning to everyone. A very good morning to everyone present here. Today is 26th November and we are celebrating our Constitution Day. We have Mr. Xavier de Souza with us to be a part of our celebration today. Welcome you, sir. We have with us our Vice Principal and Dean of Faculty, Sharina ma'am. And we have Mr. Uday Kumar, Coordinator for PG, and also Sakina ma'am. We welcome you, ma'am. Now I request Sakina ma'am. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Respected Vice Principal, Dr. Sharina Madam, esteemed guest and today's resource person, Professor and Dr. Xavier de Souza, the coordinator of the PG MBA program, Professor Uday Kumar, faculty colleagues, and all my dear students. Today, being 25th of November, we are celebrating our Constitution Day, though the Constitution Day falls tomorrow. For convenience purpose, we are celebrating it today. In fact, it is not celebrating, a kind of observing this Constitution Day. So we have with us Professor Xavier de Souza as today's resource person. So very briefly, I will introduce Professor Xavier de Souza to you all. Born in Kanyana village, Bantwal Taluk, Professor Xavier de Souza had his school education from St. Lawrence Aided Higher Primary School and later at Government Junior College, Kanyana. Graduated from St. Philomena College, Puttur, and obtained his master's degree in political science in the year 1981 from Mangalore University and also obtained his doctoral degree from Mangalore University. Professor Xavier de Souza began his career as a lecturer in Sacred Heart College, Madantyar. Thereon, he joined government service in 1985 and served in various government first-grade colleges in various capacities. Professor Xavier de Souza's dedication and hard work took him to the position of principal in the year 2005, and since then, he served as the principal of various government first-grade colleges across Dakshina Kannada until his superannuation on 31st July 2020. Dr. Xavier de Souza continues to be a much sought-after trainer, counselor, and resource person almost all over India. He was the coordinator of the Study Center of Karnataka State Open University, Mysore, quality facilitator of the Continuous Quality Assessment Cell, and also member of various organizations and associations such as Scouts and Guides, Gandhi Vichara Vedike, and so on. Besides, Professor Xavier de Souza is an active Rotarian and was the president of the Rotary Club Puttur during 2020-21. Sir, it is indeed a pleasure to have you amidst us on this day. And I am thankful to Dr. Uday Kumar sir for getting you here. Once again, a warm welcome to you, sir, and to all present here. Thank you.
Now I request our resource person, Professor Xavier de Souza, to come and address our students. Yeah.
On behalf of all of us, we welcome Dr. Xavier de Souza. So I welcome Dr. Sharina Madam also to this event. Welcome Dr. Uday Kumar sir. Thank you. I invite sir. Sir, 1 second. Before that, let us just read the preamble. Okay? Yeah, I'll just. This is the prayer and the preamble. Preamble is a prayer. So let us all read in the right way.
So I will read it out. Please repeat after me. We, the people of India,
We the people of India
having solemnly resolved to constitute India
have
into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship,
liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship.
equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our constituted assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, to hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this constitution.
So we invite Professor Xavier de Souza at this time.
So respected Dr. Sharina Madam, Dr. Uday and Dr. Sakina, both of them my colleagues during my post-graduation, and all my dear students. Just now, you read the preamble of the Indian Constitution. As the madam said, we are going to celebrate, rather observe, tomorrow, the Constitution Day. It is mentioned there, on this day of November 26, 1949, we do adopt, enact this Constitution. So, in 1949, on November 26, this was adopted. So that is what we are celebrating. Now, what is Constitution? The easiest way to explain the Constitution is, you know, every religion has got a sacred book. Similarly, a country should have a sacrosanct document, and that is the Constitution. Whenever there is a need to refer, we refer to the Constitution. The Constitution says the nature of the country, the relations between the government and the citizens, the rights of the citizens, the duties of the citizens, the powers of the government. All these are mentioned in the Constitution. See, before 1947, we were ruled by the British. And during those days, there was no need of our own Constitution, because the British Parliament was enacting laws for India, and they were passing, they were implementing. So as you know, there was freedom struggle. See, on the one side, the freedom struggle was going on against the British. In another side, there were a few thinkers who were thinking about the future. What after independence? You know, we got independence 1947, but the work of making the Constitution began much before that. For example, it was in 1934, M.N. Roy, he gave the idea of having a constitution for India. After independence, we must have a constitution, and we should, the government must be run accordingly as per the constitution. So before getting independence, a constituent assembly was constituted. See, the maker of the Indian Constitution is the Constituent Assembly. You know that Rajendra Prasad was the president of the Constituent Assembly. Then there was a drafting committee. Dr. Ambedkar was the chairman of the drafting committee. And we give all the credit to Dr. Ambedkar for writing this Constitution. So, the Constitution making work began before getting independence. So it met for the first time in the month of August 1946. See, the partition was later that. So in the beginning, there were 389 members in the Constituent Assembly. Because of the partition, it was reduced to 299. The Constituent Assembly took 3 long years, in fact, 2 years and 11 months to draft this constitution. There were 11 sessions, and during these sessions, the draft was discussed. It was voted, and the different clauses or different parts were passed. They used 165 days to discuss on this constitution and to adopt this constitution. See, there are certain facts or certain special things about our constitution. See, today, you being the students of 21st century, we have all the gadgets. We have all smart rooms, smart classes, mobiles, computers, everything. But do you know that our constitution was handwritten? Our constitution was handwritten by a calligrapher called Prem Bihari. He wrote the constitution, a copy separately in Hindi and separate in English. See, he belonged to a writer family. So while discussing on the constitution, Nehru contacted this person, Prem Bihari, and Nehru requested him to write the constitution. He wrote in italic. Nehru asked him, "What do you expect for writing the constitution?" Then he said, I don't expect anything, but you must allow me to sign on every page of the Constitution. And at the end, you should allow me to sign with my grandfather. So in that copy, his signatures are there on every page. And also at the end, his grandfather's signature is also there in the Constitution. And see, while writing that Constitution, see, during that time, we were much liberal people, not only Indians, but all the people in the Constituent Assembly. So, two people from Bihar, Ram Manohar Sinha and Nandalal Bose. These were the two artists from Shantiniketan. And they have their drawings on every page of the Constitution. See, in the middle, it is written on the side, there are various artists' work is found. For example, I don't know whether you have read sometimes, whenever there is a clash or debate between two political parties or two divergent views, they question these are the artistic work found in the Constitution. See, today, of course, they are controversial. Today, one cannot write such paintings. But during that time, as I said, we were much liberal. See, even during our college days, we were not knowing all these clashes, all these communal issues. We were very friendly with all. See, in the campus, for example, in 1981-83, there was nothing of that type in the Mangalore City campus also. We studied there. So, these artistic works are found on every page of the Constitution. And these original copies are preserved in the Library of Indian Parliament. Now also, you can go and have a look. So, the Constitution, which was drafted by this committee, and it, as I said, it took 3 years. And it was adopted on this day, November 26, 1949. So you may ask a question, so what about 1950, January 26th? See, 1950, January 26 was the date when the Constitution was implemented or it came into effect. So we observe that day as our Republic Day. See, in the beginning, we resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. There are 5 words. Every word has a specific meaning. So, till then, India was not a country of this type. It was ruled by British. It was a colony of Britain. Somewhere trying for dominion status. Dominion status means, for example, even now, a few countries such as Australia, Canada and all, they have got dominion status. They cannot elect their own president. They have governor generals who are appointed by the British Queen, now the British King. So, a sovereign country means it should not have any other control internally and externally. So, to constitute India into a sovereign country, a socialist, this word was incorporated much later because, see, the socialistic principles were adopted to provide social justice to the citizens. So, sovereign socialist, then secular. Secularism. See, you know, in our country, we have got different religion, different caste, creed, color, culture. So, secular. The country doesn't have an official religion. Our country treats all the religions equally. Secular. Sovereign, social, secular, democratic republic. Democracy, you know, people should elect the government. The government should be responsive to the people. So people have control over the government. Then the last word, republic, means has got a specific meaning. See, in this sense, we cannot call England a republic. Britain is not a republic because to fulfill this condition or calling a country republic, it must fulfill two conditions. One is the head of the nation must be elected by the people. Then second is there should not be hereditary principle to any public office. See, in India, our president is the head of the nation who is elected by the parliament and legislative assemblies. So elected. Second is there is no hereditary principle. Hereditary principle means anything. Yeah. For any public office, there should not be hereditary principle. In England, you know, recently Queen Elizabeth died. Then there was no meeting to elect a king or queen. See, there is automatic. Her son, till then he was Prince Charles, he became the king of England. That is hereditary principle. The son or daughter. If son is there, son will become. If there is no son, daughter will become the queen or king of England. So England is not a republic, but ours is a republic because we elect our president and there is no hereditary principle. So when the constitution was adopted on 26th November, the constitution had 395 articles. The constitution is found in chapters, then articles, schedules, appendix is there. 395 articles, 22 parts, 12 schedules. Till now, we have 115 amendments. So now the articles have gone to 448. Originally, we had 395 articles. So there might be a slight difference with regard to articles and amendments, because some amendments, they are introduced in the parliament, then they passed by the states much later. So the number may vary. See, the Indian Constitution is a borrowing, many borrowed ideas are found in the Constitution. There are many borrowed concepts. See, when we were drafting the Constitution, there were some countries which were successfully practicing democracy and constitutional government. One was United States. United States had its own constitution and the constitution was successfully implemented. See, there are, with regard to population, see, even a small child knows India comes first. No, China comes first. India comes second. So that answer you can write any time in any exam. Similarly, with regard to the constitution also, there are two things. The lengthiest constitution is the Constitution of India. The lengthiest constitution in the world. The briefest constitution in the world is the Constitution of the United States. So this is also a permanent feature. So we had, as I said, 395 articles. And the Constitution has become the bulkiest because of these borrowings. The constitutions were practiced successfully by countries like USA, UK, Japan, and many other countries. See, UK, their constitution is known as unwritten constitution. They don't have a written constitution, but there are constitutional principles and they practice. They have unwritten aspects. So we have many aspects borrowed from the United States, borrowed from UK, borrowed from Ireland, borrowed from Spain. So even Soviet Union. Some parts or some aspects, some ideas are taken from the constitutions of those countries. And we had several problems. See, even today, if you start from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, from Gujarat to Assam, you'll find different languages. See, different practices. Sometimes it is very difficult to adjust in another state, maybe with regard to food, maybe with regard to the culture or practices. See, even in, I think many of you are from Kerala. from other states. See, even in Karnataka, we have three food practices. See, here we eat rice. If you go to northern Karnataka, they don't eat rice. If you go to Mandya part, that is different. And even the eating habits are different. In Mandya area, there is more demand for dental doctors. You know why? Huh? No, Mandya Ragi Mudde. They just swallow it. No work for teeth. They are used more in northern Karnataka, roti. So in different parts of India, we have different things. So the constitution became the bulkiest because of this diversity also. The founding fathers, they could not leave anything to chance factor. Everything is written, everything is mentioned. So we are practicing this constitution successfully for the last 72 years. See, there are many features. As I said, I'm not going to those features aspect. It's the lengthiest constitution. There is rigidity and flexibility. Means the constitution can be, if it is easily amended, it is flexible. If it cannot be amended easily, it is rigid. American constitution is the most rigid constitution in the world. See, it came into effect in 1791. Till now, it had only 26 amendments. Because it's very difficult to amend the constitution. Because 3/4 states have to ratify. There are 50 states in the United States, 3/4 have to ratify. It's very difficult. Some constitutions are very flexible. For example, the British Constitution. It can be amended any time. Just a parliamentary resolution is enough to amend the constitution. It is unwritten. Ours is a mixture of rigidity and flexibility. Some of the provisions of the constitution, they can be amended easily. Some cannot be amended easily. See, there is a Supreme Court judgment. It says that the basic structure of the constitution cannot be altered. So the Supreme Court says the basic structure, it has not defined the structure yet, but it says it cannot be altered. So it is a check on this amending power of the parliament. Then we have single citizenship. Then you may ask, is there dual citizenship? In some countries, yes. In United States, there is dual citizenship. See, there, the state citizenship is first. Then comes the national citizenship. Because America is a country where the 13 colonies came together and they formed the central government in America. The 13 colonies, they came together. So there, the center is the creation of the states. But in our country, states are the creations of the center. India got independence. After that, we had this reorganization of states, on linguistic basis. So here, our union government is very powerful because of the basic problems we are facing even today. So in our country, the union government has certain special powers, for example, emergency powers. Under an emergency, the union government becomes all powerful. All the powers of the states, they go to the union government. So such peculiar provisions are made. I come to two important aspects of our constitution, which are very important from your point of view. See, everyone must know the preamble of the constitution is very important. The preamble explains what type of country India is. See, there are different words, different concepts. See, it says justice, liberty, equality, fraternity. See, today in our public life, we are forgetting those concepts. See, they are the very important concepts. Our country is vast, as I said, from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, but we should remain one. There should be brotherhood. Fraternity is very important. That is why everything is mentioned in the preamble. It's very brief to read. So the fundamental rights aspect, I go into these fundamental rights. See, in our constitution, chapter 3 deals on fundamental rights. We have got 6 fundamental rights. Originally, we had 7. Now, of course, one right is removed from that list, and it is only a legal right. Fundamental rights are different. They are protected by the Constitution. Supreme Court is the guardian of fundamental rights. See, we have the fundamental rights such as right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, then freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights. Then we have right to constitutional remedies. Right to equality, you know, there can be no discrimination on the basis of caste, creed, color, religion, or sex. All should be treated equally. All have equal treatment, equal protection under law. The right to freedom, it gives us 6 sub-rights. Originally, we had 7 rights. Now, of course, that right to property is a legal right. See, these rights are very important. As students, you should know about the rights and duties. Then only you can guide the future generation. So, the sub-rights which are given by the right to freedom are freedom of speech and expression. See, there is freedom of speech. Of course, there are limitations. Expression, whatever idea comes to our mind, if it is socially acceptable, we can express. Then we have right to assemble. See, why the right to assemble? In a democratic country, this is very important right. One should be in a position to assemble in a particular place and to discuss on political matters. We can have any debate. See, if you go to Kerala, there are, you can find while traveling, so many meetings take place. See, that is with the help of this right to assemble. Right to form associations. You can have any number of associations for any specific reason. Then, right to move anywhere in India. So, we have the freedom to move anywhere in India. Of course, in some parts, we may have to seek permission or take the written permission from the government. Certain areas such as Arunachal Pradesh, Kashmir and all, border areas. Then we have the freedom to reside and settle any part of our country, to practice any profession or carry on any occupation. See, these are the 6 freedoms which are given under right to freedom. Then we have the right against exploitation. Indian citizen cannot be exploited by anyone. So that earlier we had certain practices, type of slavery. We have certain evil practices. Such practices are abolished by the Constitution. Now, of course, there can be no exploitation of the citizens. Similarly, we have freedom of religion. See, one can practice any religion. See, in our country, propagating religion is legal. You can express, you can tell about your religion. So, the religious freedom is there. Similarly, with regard to the conscience, see, you can believe, you can practice any religion as per your conscience. Then, we have cultural and educational right. See, what is cultural and educational right? The cultural right means, in our country, we have different cultures, different practices. If you go to the different parts of the country, you'll find certain practices which may not be in your place. So every community or every group of citizens can preserve and protect their culture. If you go to northeastern states, see, their culture is different. They've got different practices. States like Assam, Nagaland, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram. See, all these are northeastern countries. They've got different. So, in order to make a provision to protect their own religion, their own culture, practices, this right is given. Similarly, we have an important right. There's a sixth right, related to a seventh right, right to constitutional remedies. See, what is this right? Constitutional remedy means what? In fact, this right, it protects all other rights. In case of violation of any right, one has the right to move the court. You can appeal to the Supreme Court or High Court in order to protect your rights. So that right is given under Article 32, right to constitutional remedies. So all these rights are provided to lead a happy life, of course, to develop our personality. See, we can develop our personality only when certain conditions are provided. When these conditions are provided, we can develop our personality. That is why these rights are provided. Then, before completing, I come to the duty part. These duties are very important because you are the future citizens. I think many of you might have voted during the parliamentary election. Is there anyone who has not exercised their franchise, who has not voted, yet to vote? So there are many. So you'll get a chance next year. You'll get a chance next year, and in 24, you can elect your MPs. There is an election in 2024 to the Lok Sabha. See, this right is very important right. Many times we blame that our representatives are not good, our government is not good. In fact, who are to be blamed? We have to blame ourselves. If we elect our representatives, if they are good enough, definitely we'll get a good government. So register your names in the voter list. Of course, in every place now, they are having different programs. You have to register your name, then you can vote. So that first vote, when you vote, when you get that indeligible ink mark. See, nowadays students are very much excited. They take a photo and put in their status. So next year you can have your status with that indelible ink mark. So we have 11 duties which are very important from your point of view also, because you are the future. See, today's citizens, not the future citizens. You are the citizens of India. You have to protect India, and you have to carry forward this great legacy. One is, I'll read because there are 11. Abide by the Constitution to respect its ideals, institutions, national flag, and anthem. We have to respect these. You know what we have to do when the national anthem is sung? Do you do that? All. Because recently I saw some TV program. Some reporter used to take that his microphone and used to ask with youngsters about different aspects, constitution, flag, then the political leaders and all. Then the right answers, very few right answers come. So that is because our youngsters are not interested in all these aspects. So all may be knowing about FIFA. Everyone knows what has happened today and what is going to happen tomorrow. Everyone knows. But about the constitution, about the political activities, they are very important because they have direct impact on our life. See, when I go to first year classes, first degree, then I ask a question to my students. How many of you have seen a sunrise? Now, can I ask the same question? How many of you have seen a sunrise? Just count. You yourself count. Last benches also. Try to count. Okay. Now, I am asking something related to it. What is your age now? All have above 18, right? 18 years, forget about the first 4 or 5 years. Then remaining 13. Every day there is a sunrise. Every day there is a sunset. See, the natural phenomena which is taking place, we are not interested to see that. People go to Darjeeling, people go to Kanyakumari, people go to Kashmir to see sunrise, sunset. See, we can see sunrise or sunset in our own place. Every day you can see, you can get inspiration. See, your mind will become fresh, but we are not interested. Then forget about the constitution and all. Huh? Okay. So here also there is no much change. In my class, I used to get some, in a class of 80 students, some 20 hands. So till today, you have not seen sunrise. At least tomorrow or day after tomorrow, go to some place where you can see the sunrise. Just to go and see the sunrise. For 5 minutes, you look at the sun. You see the phenomena which is going on in nature. Similarly, sunset. Many of your problems will be solved. Okay. So, to cherish and follow the noble ideals which inspired our national struggle for freedom. In this, there are many. I am not going to read it again. One 11th edition is there. One fundamental duty which is added to it recently. It says, parent or guardian must provide opportunities for education to his children below, I mean, between 6 to 14 years. Now it is the duty of every Indian citizen to see that his children get educated. That is compulsory education we have. So once the child attains the age of 6, then before till 14, you must provide education to them. I think this is very much pertinent to this audience so that they can do their duty. Then, of course, we have to protect public property, and all these are there. You are all good in all these new gadgets. So, if you Google and find also, you will get all these lists and all. So, thank you for a patient listening. And if I have succeeded in giving at least a few ideas about our constitution, that's enough for me. And I am thankful to Dr. Uday and Dr. Sakina. When I came here and I saw them, my mind went back to Dhanajay. So I thank them, and also I thank you especially for the patient listening. Thank you.
I know that you are already restless and set to go out, but let me use just 3 minutes to speak to you. It's great to be back on the days with Dr. Xavier and Sakina after many, many years. Let us understand one thing. If you are having some privileges in your life, it has not come down from the sky. It was the result of the hard work, the forethought, and the sacrifice that is being made by the generation earlier. So therefore, unless we remember, unless we consciously understand the kind of society that is being constructed today, we speak about democracy, which are the four pillars. We have legislature, we have executive, we have got judiciary, and we have got the press. Now let us try to understand what each of this estate stand for and why. And also the severe challenge that we have it today. Probably if you watch the mass media today, right, something is being said without any sufficient proof, and heaps of information keeps flowing in, and ultimately people start believing that what is being, right, declared by an anchor who is very ill informed, who is really illiterate in the real sense of the term, and they are able to take the whole, right, masses along with them, and are able to influence in a very negative way. This is happening because we really don't know what is our right, why, right? How did we get this kind of country, and what are the sacrifices that are being made by our earlier generation? So, therefore, it becomes your unbounded duty to understand what is this constitution, right? And what are the fundamental rights and what are the fundamental duties? And if it is being violated, not by yourself, but by somebody else, its impact will be on you. Please don't forget that, right? So, when we speak of constitution, I think we from this part of the world has a very solid reason to feel proud of. One of the very important person who worked with Ambedkar was Benegal Narasimha Rao, who hailed from Dakshin Kannada, right? Who got educated in Mangalore, and he not only constituted, right, did a tremendous work, not only in drafting the constitution of our country, but of a number of other countries in Africa. And Srinagar was a state, and he was heading it earlier. So it was an enormous kind of contribution that these people did. If you read the biography of Benegal Narasimha Rao and his brothers, by itself, it is an inspiration for all of you. All that I request you to be the torch bearers, because there is a real crisis of leadership in the society today. When we thought of inviting somebody to speak on Indian Constitution, believe me, we couldn't get good number of people who are very well, right, informed about the Indian Constitution, and that is a kind of status. When we were when we started our career, we could get, right, not less than 10, 20 people who could speak on different areas of expertise. But today, there is a serious shortage of people who are very well informed, who knows what the things are, because in the real sense of you're all students of commerce and administration. Please take it from me, there is nothing like administration when you go out, right? Earlier we used to say, right, we in the field of commerce, experts in case of financial analysis, do quite a lot of bit of analysis, but when Dhirubhai Ambani gets pulled, right, the whole of stock exchange collapses, right? Now what, right, it has to do with it, in the sense, it only means to say, when the political decisions are going to be in some direction, then it will have an impact on the financial sector, on the social sector, and on the judiciary, and on the other aspects as well. So therefore, today media is being, right, owned by the business houses. So therefore, you are not in a position to know what really is happening in the society, right? So therefore, it becomes extra important for on your part, right? Because for me, Xavier and Sakina, we don't have to worry because we had a wonderful life, right? I'm 62 already, all of them are there. We had a wonderful life, not because we worked for it, but the generation earlier made a sacrifice. Now, at least we can inform you that what is the kind of society that you are living in, and if at all you are having some advantages, what is the reason behind it, and how you need to protect and how you need to be cautious about the developments that are taking place. And I think that the observing of the Constitution Day is a wonderful pretext for all of this. Anyway, uh, if not now, maybe sometime later, you will remember this particular session as we all have done in our life. So I thank everybody for having created this atmosphere. Thank you, Dr.
Nothing new can come into your life unless you are grateful for what you already have. I would be remiss if I did not express my gratitude to all the people who have made today's event possible. I would like to thank Dr. Xavier de Souza, former principal and professor of political science, Government First Rate College, Puttur, for accepting our invite and for enlightening us all on all the work that went behind the drafting and framing of our constitution. All the effort and thought that went into it is truly great. It was interesting, sir, to learn about the meaning and significance behind all the words mentioned in our preamble and all the unique aspects about our great constitution. I would request Dr. Uday Kumar, sir, to please hand over a memento on our behalf to sir. Please, some students join sir in handing over the memento.
Because the lecture was released.
Thank you, sir. I extend my deepest gratitude to Dr. Arun Bhagwat, Principal and Dean of Science, Yenapaya Institute of Arts, Science, Commerce and Management, for his stewardship, support, vision and encouragement to make this event successful. In his absence, I thank him. My heartfelt gratitude also to Dr. Sharina, Vice Principal and Dean of Commerce and Management, and Dr. Jeevan Raj, Vice Principal of Yenapoya Institute of Arts, Science, Commerce and Management for their constant support. In their absence, I thank them. A big thank you to Dr. Uday Kumar, PG Coordinator, for his support and presence and for his thought-provoking words about our Constitution and our role as torchbearers of society. Thank you, sir. I owe special gratitude to Dr. Sakina Nasir, HOD of Humanities and Social Sciences, for coordinating today's event. Thank you, ma'am. I thank all the students who have attended today's event and commemorated the Constitution Day of India with us. Thank you, students. Last but not the least, my sincere thanks to Professor Maitri, Professor Atit, Ashwin sir, and all the technical support administrative staff who have worked behind the scenes to make this event a success. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Xavier.